Welcome to our mess.
Hey, somebody turn the water off. Get some channel locks.
And this yard is really coming together.
Guess we hit the water line.
Welcome to Flip My Florida Yard. On today's episode, we head to Panama City. It's here we flip a yard for a mother and daughter, still recovering from Hurricane Michael. Designers show us how to install a landscape more resilient to harsh weather conditions.
We tried to pick some plant materials that did really well during the storm.
Experts offer tips for the next visit to your local nursery.
Look for insects, look for diseases.
And we look at the latest science behind turf grass.
A lot of the work that we're doing here translates into how homeowners should better manage their lawn.
All building to a dramatic reveal.
Wow!
Whoa. Flip My Florida Yard starts right now.
Flip My Florida Yard is sponsored by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection.
We're knocking on doors.
So excited.
And flipping yards into beautiful Florida-friendly landscapes, and all in 8 hours.
Is this really happening?
Who's ready?
Organized chaos.
Experts show us how to use Florida-friendly landscaping principles.
Putting the right plant in the right place.
Water efficiently.
Very low maintenance.
Fertilize appropriately.
All leading up to a dramatic reveal.
The best surprise of our whole life.
Oh, it is a beautiful crisp morning here in Panama City, and it's a beautiful morning to flip a yard. You guys ready to flip a yard? Yeah! All right, let's go get the homeowners. Let's see if they're home. Hey guys.
Hey! Hi, I'm Christina. This is my daughter Jillian, and we're the Durta family. The current state of our yard is just really, truly a disaster. October 10th of 2018, Hurricane Michael, which was a Cat 5 hurricane, hit the greater Panama City area. It came through in about two and a half, 3 hours, and it looked like a bomb went off. All the trees were completely stripped. The current issue with the yard is that I don't have the wherewithal to do this. It requires a lot of helping hands and things like that, I know that I wouldn't be able to do.
We're gonna transform your front yard. It's gonna be a beautiful landscape when you come back. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Well, before we get started, I wanna introduce you to your flip crew. This is your flip crew.
Woo! Thank you very much, everyone, thank you.
Well, we have a great day planned for you guys, and you're gonna go see an incredible state park. And we got to get you out of here so we can get some work done. So no driving by here and peeking throughout the day, okay? I want you to be back here at 4 o'clock, and I think you're gonna like what you see.
Adios.
All right, let's get it done.
As somebody who's a bit of a control freak, it's kind of a lot to hand over your yard and say, I don't know what you're doing. Surprise me.
Okay, guys, the Durta family just left. You know what that means. We have 8 hours to flip this Florida yard. Who's ready?
Yeah!
Who's ready?
Yeah!
Go, 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 go. If you can imagine, there was giant camphor trees right here in the front yard. Hurricane Michael took them out. But what was left was this insane root system that wove all throughout this yard. And so we came in prior to that, pulled all those roots out and got it ready for today's flip. These guys are working on digging tunnels for irrigation. We're gonna have a pavered walkway right through here. They're leveling this out, getting this ready for the dirt and the aggregate that'll go down before the pavers go down. We turn to local landscape architect, Katie Harrell from Southeastern Outdoor Management to design Tina and Jillian's new resilient landscape. Here we go, Katie.
Yay!
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I mean, a lot to do today. I know that Tina views this flip as a little bit of a renewed sense of hope. What are some of the things that they wanted to see in this yard?
She really likes traditional plantings like boxwoods, but as we were trying to incorporate more natives, we tried to find some plant materials that have similar leaves and similar plant structure to what she was looking for and really incorporate those into the design. The pavers that we selected were tumbled, so that they look like a more old school, old world paver, and just trying to kind of meld all those things into making it match the old farmhouse style that she has here. So we're gonna give her a nice access point to her front porch.
Okay.
We got a nice big evergreen camellia that's gonna go in there, and then we're just gonna do some foundation plantings down this side.
Okay.
And then in the back here, we're gonna also add in the biggest shade tree that we have for this particular design.
Okay.
We're gonna use an LA elm in here. It's just kind of the right plant, right place. So we're gonna use something that doesn't get quite as big. We don't want anything that can eventually, if there's another storm, damage her house significantly. So we're gonna go with something that maxes out around 40 feet tall and a little smaller than some of the old big trees she had here, so we don't have any more damage. This area over here, we're gonna repeat a lot of the same plantings to tie everything together. This yaupon holly on the corner is gonna anchor us. We're going with something native and something that's got berries, something that's gonna provide more habitat for our wildlife, our birds, which is one of our key features. Our birdhouse that's gonna go right behind you is kind of a little hidden area that she can come out and enjoy in the mornings when she's having her coffee on the porch.
Well, I love this design. I think when they sit on that front porch in that church pew and look out, each day it gets better and better.
Absolutely.
We're in Panama City, flipping a yard for Tina and Jillian, whose yard was damaged during Hurricane Michael.
I could hear glass breaking. I could hear water dripping in the house. It's when I looked out the front window and the church across the street, the whole thing just came down.
A little project I've got going throughout the day is this bench really kind of symbolized the church that was lost across the street for Tina. We're trying to restore this bench as best we can. We're gonna stain it and make this something that she can sit on, enjoy her time on her front porch, and really enjoy her new Florida yard. So a lot to do on this today.
In the yard, it's all about irrigation.
One of the features of Florida-friendly landscaping is trying to provide irrigation that conserves water.
The Durta's yard had no irrigation system, so our crew was wide open.
We've used some special high-efficiency van nozzles. We only have a few spray heads because we've kept very minimal sod areas here, and all of the plant beds and the hanging baskets will all be on a drip irrigation zone, which works off gallons per hour versus gallons per minute. It helps to keep your cost on your irrigation system down as well.
But Katie and her crew are already having to deal with some unexpected issues.
We're already hitting tree roots over here, so I know that we're gonna end up with some issues and may have to adjust some plant materials, some trees. It's fine, we'll roll with it. We're used to it. It doesn't matter whether it's tree roots, a water line, a sewer line. You just have to kind of rise to the challenge and meet that and work your design around that and make it all work.
As the crew wraps up irrigation, it's time to prep the yard for plants and trees.
The real stars have arrived. The green, the plants, the shrubs, it's all here.
I asked Tom Wickman with the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program to review a few of the plants going in today and any advice for proper planting.
Plant time here in the front yard. Let's talk about these plants we have in front of us. These are some of the plants that are gonna go into the front yard here. I love the name of this. What is this?
This is the dwarf Pringles podocarpus.
Say that real fast.
Dwarf Pringles, I can't.
Really cool name.
I call it the Cadillac of screening plants. We're looking at something in the 3 to 5 foot height range, maybe about 4 to 5 foot wide.
Slow growing, less maintenance.
Less pruning.
Okay, that's that one. Now let's talk about this one. What do we got here, Tom?
This is a dwarf loropetalum. This is one called Crimson Fire, and
wow, it's beautiful.
Really beautiful. The nice thing about loropetalum is they've got these beautiful crimson leaves.
Yeah.
And then they get these bright, brilliant pink blooms in the springtime as well. And it really goes well with accents greens and other plants really well.
I love this one. What do we got here, Tom?
And this is a nice Florida native. Walter's viburnum. The variety is Mrs. Schiller's Delight. This one stays nice and tight and compact.
Yeah. What's the worst thing somebody can do when they're planting a plant?
Probably plant it too deeply. And also, planting things too close together and too close to the house. Plants start competing with each other for light, for water and nutrients.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you've got this mass of roots and plants. They're all intertwined and they all start thinning out and none of them are thriving. So it's really best if you can give them a little space, allow them to get to their mature size. For longevity of the landscape, it will just make that landscape last that much longer.
Attracting wildlife is an important principle of the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program. And these plants will not only do that, but they'll also help create a traditional looking yard that fits with the house.
Americans love their grass. In fact, the lawn is the biggest irrigated crop in America. So developing grasses that require less water can have a huge environmental impact.
I love turf grass. It's comfortable, it feels good, and it can be very beautiful in our landscape.
We caught up with turf scientist Kevin Kenworthy to better understand what turf science is and the environmental impacts it can have.
The Plant Science Research and Education Unit exists to support research for faculty on main campus in Gainesville for the University of Florida. A lot of the work that we're doing here with watering and drought responses and breeding translates into how homeowners should better manage their lawns when it comes to irrigation and the water they're applying, the water they're using, which is a valuable natural resource. When you think about it, I have kind of an odd occupation. I'm a turfgrass breeder. And so what does that mean? If we want to make a better St. Augustine grass, we don't need 5 St. Augustine grasses to look at. We need several hundred that we want to screen in different environments for their responses to diseases, insects, drought, shade. So you start off with a couple thousand plants. You hope to narrow that to a couple hundred, then to 30 or 50, and then down to 5 or 10, and then those 1 or 2 that will be useful. The idea for all of this is to improve and increase the sustainability of the turf grass that we use in our landscapes. That's the focus of the breeding program. Fewer inputs for pesticides, water, fertilizers. Those are the focal areas of our research programs.
Let's get back to our flip. Today, we're in Panama City, flipping the Durta family's yard. Their home was devastated by Hurricane Michael in 2018. Since then, the exterior of their historic home has been restored. Now, it's up to our flip crew to restore this yard to a Florida-friendly landscape. As a Panama City resident, Katie witnessed firsthand the destruction caused by Hurricane Michael and has some tips for designing a resilient landscape.
The University of Florida has done some great research prior to Hurricane Michael, and then adding in what we learned just physically from being here and on the ground and seeing what trees did better and what survived, making sure the span and the space of trees when you plant them. If you have a small lot like this one happens to be, that you choose smaller trees. Don't come in and plant a huge live oak. I know people love them because they have great shade. If there is something that happens, there's no issue with it falling on your house, and then you have as many repairs.
A new water-efficient irrigation system and Florida-friendly plants and trees are just a few of the features going in today. But we're not done yet.
This is a historic home, right? So we wanted that kind of historic antique look. These are tumbled concrete pavers, and you can see that tumbling has really kind of taken some chips out of them, given them some character.
It goes into basically a big dryer and it just tumbles together. It doesn't break the stones apart, which you would think it does. It just kind of antiques them, so to speak of. So when you were talking about an older type home, it's really a great, great look.
Look at them kind of come to life here. Oh man, this is gonna be beautiful. Oh, looking good.
While we're busy in their yard, Tina and Jillian are taking some much-deserved family time at Eden Gardens State Park.
Woo! Woo!
Where 163 acres are part of the historic Wesley homestead. One of the main points of interest is the mansion built in 1897 by timber baron William Henry Wesley. Visitors can explore the gardens, fish on the Tucker Bayou, and tour the home, which was restored in the 1960s. Back at the Durta's house, when it comes to traditional southern trees, the crepe myrtle is the quintessential choice.
Muskogee crepe myrtle. Look at that, perfect.
Probably good right there.
Is this kind of a self-sustaining tree?
They're one of the longest blooming trees in Florida, so we get a great bloom time from early spring on through the fall, heavier blooms in the summer. Doesn't require a bunch of water once it's rooted, which works great with our drip irrigation system.
Hurricane Michael took out so many trees in this area. Katie, what's it feel like to be planting another tree here today?
We lost, I believe the last number I heard was more than 85% of our trees.
Wow.
We want to start convincing people, hey, plant back trees, just make sure it's the right plant for the right place.
Today, we're flipping a yard with a special meeting here in Panama City. In 2018, Hurricane Michael decimated this area, including the Durta family's home and yard. But now our flip crew is just a few hours away from finishing a Florida-friendly landscape that will revitalize this yard. But with any major yard renovation, there's always the element of surprise.
Hey, somebody turn the water off. Get some channel locks. Let's get that cut off. Guess we hit the water line.
Katie, I saw water shooting all over the place. What's going on over here?
Well, you know, it's not a landscape project unless you hit something. So even though we had utilities located, we managed to find a water line.
How important is this for somebody who's doing this kind of landscaping in their yard to know where these lines are?
It's extremely important. And you know, the state of Florida has 811. That's all you dial. And they come out and mark your utilities, and hopefully you avoid this.
While Katie's team fixes the pipe, I again tap Tom Wickman for some tips when visiting a local nursery.
Kind of take us through a little bit. We're walking into a nursery, whether it's in a big box store or a local nursery. It just comes back to right plant, right place. What are some questions we should be asking? What kind of plants are we looking for?
Number one, when you start, you want something that looks healthy. Look for insects, look for diseases. If you see yellowing leaves, and maybe you leave that plant alone and don't bring it home because you don't want to bring home problems.
Tip number 2, do your homework.
And some of the things to ask are, what will grow well in my condition?
Yeah.
And hopefully you've done a site analysis a little bit to figure out your lighting patterns, how much sun you have, and know where in the state you are so you're getting plants that are for your particular region and that they'll thrive there.
Well, what are some mistakes people make when they buy plants from a nursery?
In some cases, buying the bigger plant is not the best buy because the larger the plant, the longer it takes to get established. Okay. You can save some dollars sometimes by starting with a slightly smaller plant, but you want to make sure that you're still spacing it properly.
Yeah.
So it might look a little sparse at first, but you want to make sure that you're giving it enough room so it can grow.
Let's talk about the tag and how to read it.
They've got lots of great information, everything from how tall this is going to grow, to how wide it's going to grow, to the zone, the growth zone that it should be. Some of these tags also have good planting information.
Yeah.
And they'll teach you how to properly dig the hole and make sure you're not planting this plant too deeply.
Lots of great information, and really there's no dumb question when you get to a nursery, right? And they love working with plants, and they love sharing that knowledge, right?
They really do.
It's always a good sign when we start seeing sod. That means we're getting really close, and this yard is really coming together.
Here on this flip, we're using zoysia grass, and zoysia's become really popular in the last 10 years. Requires a little less nutrients, perhaps, than St. Augustine, but it does take a little bit of water. You know, we always tell people to manage it properly. Grass doesn't waste water. People do.
As the last bit of turf goes down, local woodworker Robbie Hodson has made Tina a side table from a fence that was blown down during the hurricane.
Hey, Chad, got a table for you.
Robbie, how you doing? Oh my gosh! This is absolutely beautiful. And now she has a place to set her cup of coffee, right?
Excellent.
They're gonna be here in 30 minutes. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
I've got some staining to do. Would you mind putting some gloves on and grabbing a paintbrush?
I can do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's set this right over here.
Sure.
With just minutes to spare, the final task is Florida-friendly principle number 4, mulch.
We've got our drip irrigation running all throughout this flower bed. This puts water right where it needs it, very water efficient. And we're using this pine needle, my favorite mulch. Here's the bonus with this mulch is that when it comes, you get all these little bits and pieces in here, all these little bits of organic matter. This all breaks down into your soil, providing nutrients for your plants. And I just love that we're using it in this yard. It's gonna look beautiful.
There's nothing left but some really small finishing touches to make it look finished and ready to enjoy. Everything else is absolutely complete.
Well, I'm so excited to show you this yard because an incredible group of people came together to make this happen, and I really can't wait to do this reveal. So are you guys ready?
We are.
Yeah, we're ready.
We have been ready all day.
Let's bring in the glasses. So you're gonna put those on.
Okay.
You can see the ground a little bit, but you can't see
Okay.
me, right? How many fingers do I have?
I have no idea.
It's a mile and a half around the corner.
Excuse me.
We're almost there. 1, 2, 3. Remove your glasses.
Whoa, my God! This is absolutely amazing. Whoa, you did this today. Thank you guys so much.
Before, this yard was a barren reminder of a storm that changed Tina and Jillian's life. Now, this Florida-friendly landscape is a beautiful space that matches the family's historic home, has a water-efficient irrigation system, will attract wildlife, has a selection of hardy plants and trees suited for Florida's Northwest region, and provides a tranquil place for them to get outside and enjoy the neighborhood.
Wow.
Whoa. How did you all do this in 8 hours?
Oh, I didn't even see the pavers. And perfect color. And see the lights. Mm-hmm. And they stained our pew.
Ooh, nice.
Beautiful. It doesn't even feel like our house. This is what this house was supposed to be.
Congratulations,
What do you think?
I am so impressed with what you have done, and it is exactly what I wanted. It just fits the character of the home, and it's not something that I could have ever envisioned on my own.
This house is definitely going to be a beacon of hope for this area, so we're hoping that that spurs this entire area into a complete revitalization.
It's been years. This yard's been torn up, and the house is back to life. That's what it means. Not just for me and her, but for the entire community. Everybody that drives by, I, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Flip my Florida yard!
Wow, what a flip. Tina and Jillian's new yard will not only be water efficient, it'll attract wildlife. It's also designed to be more resilient to harsh weather conditions. Well, that's our show. Remember, everybody doing a little, well, that's a whole lot.
Flip My Florida Yard was brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection in partnership with the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences Florida Friendly Landscaping Program.
The yard is awesome.
And I just feel so much pride just having just such a beautiful yard that everyone can look at. It looks so much better than before.
It really does. And the neighbors walking down the street have all complimented us and told us how great it looks. And we appreciate you flipping our Florida yard.